is tall Georgia pines, stewing battle in the North Georgia mountains and the rolling hills of the Piedmont. It's the top 14 from the 5 biggest john boat clubs in Georgia. It's taken the anglers a year to earn the right to be here. It may not be the big 70-mile-per-hour bass boats the pros use, but it is highly modified fishing rigs set up to handle these electric-only lakes. The game is the same as the pros play, and you're going to have to be on top of your game come March 16th, 2019, if you want to earn the right to be the TEC champion. Proudly sponsored by G2 Gemini Jerseys, Rejuvenate, Power Pole, Nichols Lures, Dixie Athens Painting and Pressure Washing, Southern Draw Outdoors, East Penn, MyGeorgia811.com, Line Tanning Serum, The Dugout Bait and Tackle, Illusion Custom Crankbaits, TH Marine, Lanier Baits, Samkina Bait Company, Hammond's Fishing Center, Now let me introduce you to some of the qualifying anglers.
Alright, so first, start off by telling me your names and what club you fish with.
Chris Gayton, SWAT, small water angler teams.
Mike Strickland, SWAT.
Awesome. So, tell me, how did y'all first get into bass fishing?
For me, I got in bass fishing in general. Growing up, my granddad, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that loved outdoors and hunting and fishing, and then getting into tournaments. A friend of mine in high school had a boat, started fishing with him, and then went on from there.
What about you, Mike?
Started out pond fishing like most people, I guess, with my dad, and then in 1983 bought our first bass boat and kind of played around with it a little bit. It was a used boat, and then in '86 we bought a 20-foot Procraft brand new. And when the Lowrance paper grass first came out, I'm telling my age now. Started fishing a lot of the Georgia Power tournaments and got into a club, and then Dad kind of backed out of it for a while. We bought some property down south to hunt on, and that was his thing, was hunting more than fishing. So I ended up getting in a few bass clubs and started fishing with Cullen Bass Masters, which was a federated club, and started fishing with Jerry Pageant and Marshall and Ty Williams, all those guys. And really, like you said when you were doing your interview earlier, was really got in the boat. It was a draw tournament and really learned a lot.
Yep.
Qualified for top 6 several times down on Seminole and stuff. And never went quite as big as he did, but just been doing it a long time.
Yeah. Tell me about, you kind of already touched on it, but tell me about y'all's fishing career, maybe in the electric only side of things. How many trips y'all have made, maybe to like classics and stuff? Just kind of share it with us.
So for me, this is really, I got out of big lake fishing, had kids, and they're coming up, going through school, and year before last, I think Nick White, some friends of ours, through a mutual friend, Kenneth, had talked about the electric only tournaments. So bought a boat, kind of halfway put it together, fished out of it.
Halfway? Shoot, that thing was nice.
Well, I'm talking about when I first got it.
I got you.
I just halfway put it together.
Not last year, year before.
Yeah, year before last. And I fished with y'all, I think, half a year.
Yeah, yeah.
4 tournaments, 5 tournaments, whatever it was. It was the first time I ever fished the smaller electric motor lakes. And off season, I talked to Mike up at Hickory Log and was looking at his boat, of course, his and Tim's, and man, it was I wanted it. So Mike come over and help me, build my boat out. Keith and Nick are actually running that boat now. I'm fixing to be in the process of building another one. But this is really my first full year. This year will be my first full year of fishing electric motor only tournaments.
Yeah. And I know we know Mike in our club.
Mine's kind of funny. I sold my skeeter bass boat in 2005. Just gave up the big lakes. I had a daughter. It's probably about 6 years old. And she and I used to go to the lakes all the time. I think it's about the time, I'm not sure when Latham opened up, but it's about that time, 2005.
It was about 2001, I think.
I bought a 1436 John boat for me and her to go brim fishing and crappie fishing in and stuff. And had it for about a year, well, 2 years. And she got where she loved to throw crankbaits. And that boat got real small real quick. So I started looking around and price shopping and bought the boat that I got now. It's a 1754 Grizzly. And started using it. And she and I came back from fishing one day, and Kevin was backing in his boat. He lives in the same neighborhood as I do, and he was backing his boat in. So I just pulled over and started talking to him. And he said that you guys had an open tournament next weekend. Come up there and try it out. And
an open tournament. That was
a long time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's my 11th year with you guys. So
yeah.
And fell in love with it. It puts a whole new twist. Run on battery power. You're not running on gasoline, so it does. You just either you like it or you don't, and most people do love it. So
yeah. And I mean, with you being new into it, Mike, I know in the past for classics, I mean, points champions within SWAT. I think y'all had what, a couple, 2-3 years maybe.
Yeah.
Classic or points champions.
Point champions.
Y'all were in every classic, I think. We fished.
Last state championship they had, we finished second. The one before that, I can't remember. This will be my third one fishing the state championship.
Yeah. Yep. So tell, obviously you've already said it, y'all both been bass boat fishermen, fishing big lakes and stuff like that. So, explain how you got into John boat fishing. So how many years competitively have y'all been fishing small lakes?
1 year.
1 year?
For me.
11 years. So I know we kind of touched on that, but I wanted to go back through that one more time. So what's the main difference you feel like is in fishing the electric only versus fishing out of a big bass boat as far as strategies goes?
For me, I would say conserving with Mike's boat, it kind of takes that out. He's got a unique setup for batteries, so he's able to unplug and plug back in and have a whole fresh set of batteries. But for most people, I would think conserving power. I mean, especially when you get on a big lake like we're headed in March next month. I mean, that's a lot of water you can cover.
And get lost in.
And really, you got to cut back on your power going from hole to hole too. I mean, that's huge. So you're cutting back on your fishing time. That would be the biggest thing for me. That's the biggest difference, is not having the being able to sit down and turn a key over and go to another spot.
Bass boats is just a different twist. Bass boats, you can run from hole to hole. This electric stuff is once you commit to go to one side of the lake or the other, you're pretty much there all day. And you can't just run around. You can't backtrack. We tried to do that last year when we got Chris's boat out there running, and then we didn't have enough power to go back down where he caught fish that morning. So, and luckily we made that decision right, because we almost didn't make it back to the boat right there.
I think we were late that tournament actually.
Yeah.
Was that a Latham one?
No, that was Hickory Log.
Hickory Log. We was almost late to Latham too.
Yeah.
No, we were late to Latham.
We were
almost late.
We came back in running like a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Mile an hour. I mean, it was
push it to the max.
It was bad.
And you do these little bitty electric only setups. I mean, you have to, and you got to know your boat setup. If you don't, you go out there blind. Man, it's brutal.
It costs money to come get you.
And that has been done before. So tell me, what was y'all's in the 2018 season? Y'all have had a great year, finished second in points. What was y'all's turning point in y'all's season last year?
We had a bad season last year.
Yeah, I mean we had a couple of good events though. I think it was more about the stuff that it wasn't really turning points for us that turned us on to good things. It was maybe what turned us on to bad things. I mean, we pulled up at Hickory Lock, prime example. Mike takes out a bait, first cast 7-pounder. So me and him sat there and we beat it to death there was fish there. We just couldn't get another fish to
That
buy.
was it. That was
it. I mean, and I think it's more about making those decisions going forward into this year on, hey, you know what, maybe it's not going to work. We need to go here, go there. We did have a great first event last year.
And another one again this year.
Backed it up this year with another great one at Re-Reg. Fortunate on that, but then again we stuck our last hour of the day. We caught our last 2 fish. We went forever this last tournament with 3 fish.
Yeah. And the weekend before, I had a 8, a 6, some 4s. I mean, just slaughtered them.
Yep.
But during the tournament, of course, had that front move in, so it was tough.
That was a pretty rough tournament.
So what would y'all say is y'all's most memorable fish of 2018 that y'all caught?
2018. Trying to think.
We never really caught a big one.
Yeah, your 7 on a crank bait. We caught some good fish. At the end of the day, actually, where we seen you and JV, we were up on Rocky bed fishing as well. We pulled back in that pocket and caught.
I just anchored the boat.
I anchored the boat literally, and I couldn't see the fish, but I knew the stump they were bedding on, and caught 2 fish off of it. And that helped us out a lot in that tournament, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I don't think there was one in particular fish. I think it was just a. There was a lot of things. Last year was our first year fishing together too, so that's.
We were trying to figure each other's.
It is
Trying to figure each other out.
it is an unspoken language.
It is, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I fish with a lot of different people, and it's hard to find somebody. And Mary could agree with me because you fish with a lot of people other than JV, and it's hard to find somebody that you can spend 8 hours a day with in the boat.
I mean, I still just scrape the bottom barrel and still pull them out and fish with them every year.
But I've been fortunate enough that he and I feel that he and I we click pretty good.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
and I can see that chemistry's there, and same thing with me and JV. I mean, it's there.
I will tell you this though, when he gets a big fish on, it is hilarious.
I got a little JV in me. I get.
Well, I mean,
Oh my God!
I mean, don't hold it in.
Yeah.
Eric gets that Stan Potts look. You ever saw him? He's got that
So I was like,
serious.
that just happened. Just happened. My eyes get swelled. It just happened.
Yeah, I guess that's why we do it, right?
That's it. That's what it's all
Passion.
about.
It is the
That's what
passion.
it's all about.
So, both of y'all, if you need to put a fish in the boat, what's your go-to bait?
Go-to bait.
Mine's a Carolina rig.
Yep. His Carolina rig. For me, to put a fish in the boat or catch a
If you need to put a fish in the boat, so obviously you're struggling.
shaky
Maybe.
head.
Shaky.
Shaky head. If I need a fish and I can't get them to bite anything else, normally I can get them to bite a shaky head.
Can't go wrong with it.
Shaky head or a drop shot, one of the two.
And I'm the same way with Carolina rig. Used to be back when I was in college. Now, I couldn't tell you the last time I threw a Carolina rig.
We anchored the boat on Rocky and sat out there. How many fish did I catch? He
A
said,
lot.
Chris was sitting back there. He says, "You just give me schooling on this, aren't you?"
A lot. A lot.
But it's a confidence thing.
It is.
I mean, it just.
Well, you can. It's a bait that you can make a long cast with. You don't have to work it slow. You can tell what you're coming up against, whether it's rock or wood or whatever, and the fish will absolutely just eat it.
So, reverse that. You've got a limit, a fish, or maybe you've got one shy of a limit, and you just need that one kicker fish. What's your go-to kicker fish bait?
Time of the year.
let's just say now, which is obviously February.
I've got two things, and I'm kind of torn between them. I'll just be honest with you. I love throwing them both. Last month, and he knows I was throwing it all the time. Spinnerbait
Yeah.
or a crankbait. One of the two. For any time of the year, a jig's hard to beat.
Yeah.
But this time of year, early spring, late winter, spinnerbait or a crankbait.
Yeah, I agree.
Same.
Same.
Cover water.
You got to.
Yep.
You got to. So, have y'all checked out the new lake that we're going to be fishing coming up next month, Hard Labor Creek Reservoir? And if so, what do y'all think about it?
I like it. I just wish it was a little closer, but right now with the new growth and everything that's under the water, it kind of limits you to what you can fish. But I kind of like fishing that stuff. That's right up my alley.
Reminds me of hickory log.
Yeah,
When it first comes in.
except it's a lot worse.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Because you ain't got that.
No, it's
Yep. Yeah.
It's big. I mean, we haven't got to see it all. I mean, we've seen parts of it.
I don't believe nobody from our club has.
No, I mean, we've seen parts of it. For me, I think it's going to be a great lake. I'll say this: I don't know what it is about the water. Maybe it's the vegetation under the water dying. It's putting off the color of the water. That's making the fish look the way they do. But the fish that come out of there are beautiful. I mean, they're perfect.
What do y'all think? Y'all think it's going to be a grass lake? You know, Varner's right there beside it, and they had all the grass going on. What do y'all think?
probably once the trees and all die out, because it's not a real deep lake.
It's going to take a few years.
Yep. I just hope they don't get as bad as Varner.
I didn't ever been there. I mean, it was bad.
It got bad.
Worse than Cedar Creek.
And the back ends of it, yes.
Wow.
Because the deepest water in Varner maybe 30 foot. Of course, this lake's a lot bigger than or deeper than that, but yeah, it's just it's a good thing when it first starts, but then if they don't do something with it, you can't fish it.
I think though that on that lake, because of some of the edges and some of the creek channels, you'll be able to fish them outside grass edges.
Yeah, I believe that too. Because there's a lot of it. Like, I didn't think at first, and then going back second time, and then I found a couple of areas. You're like, wow, it does exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do y'all feel like the winning weights are going to take for the Georgia Bass Tech?
For me, I think 20. I'm gonna say right at 20. 8. Somewhere around 20.
Over 25.
You think 25? So you're hoping for conditions to be prime. I am too. It could happen.
Somebody gets on the right bait. From what we saw, the fish we caught, we didn't catch any giants, but just the way the fish are, how healthy they are, the way they're built, reminds me a lot of West Point 20 years ago. They look like footballs. You know, you go down there and catch a ton of 15 3/4 inch fish.
Yeah. They're small, but I mean they're solid.
They're not wide.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree to that. So besides yourselves, I mean, no offense, I know y'all are great anglers. Everybody wants to win. But who else within SWAT would you want to watch out for?
Probably you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't pick.
Well, yeah, thank you for not mentioning JV. I mean, because that.
Well, you and
JV
too. You and JV, but I'm gonna tell you somebody else that, and I don't know, I don't know everybody's fishing styles on that. That's somebody's gonna be to look out for, because I know the way they fish, and that time of year kind of lines up perfect for them. Keith and Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, they cover a lot of water, and they're throwing the right type of baits, especially for that time of year. And it could
They don't sit still.
no, it could happen.
They don't.
It could happen.
I agree to that, because they're really them ones that stay quiet. They go out there and they fish, and then all of a sudden, boom, they come in and they just drop them on scale.
They're just going to go out there and look at something and drop the trolling motor and start fishing, and that's
Yep.
beginner's luck right there. I mean,
Yep. And it's honestly, I don't, and I'm sure we'll go through their interview, and I ain't trying to sidetrack, but I don't think they've even seen
no.
hard labor,
No.
and that could honestly help. in that tournament.
I don't
like
think they're gonna. I mean, they haven't seen it. They didn't want to see it. At some point, I think they were talking about it.
But it could help.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it really could.
Yes.
It really could. It keeps your mind fresh.
Yep. Keeps you on your toes, keep you going.
But there's so much to look at.
There is.
Trust me, I've done spent hours looking at software that I put through a Humminbird, and it's just mesmerizing. So, tell me about your boat setup, your size, length, width, motors, batteries, modifications, live well, etc., etc.
Right now, I don't have one, so go ahead.
Man, you got out easy on that one.
Yeah. 1754 Grizzly, all welded. 280s on the back, 112 on the front. Running 10 MK gel 24 batteries. Pump in, pump out on the live well. It's at 156 quart cooler, I guess is what it is.
Oh, it's big enough. I've seen all them fish come out of there.
But it's got pump in, pump out, aerated. Interior lights, deck lights. Just ordered a 112. I mean a 12-inch Humminbird. So hopefully that'll be in by the time the tournament gets here. I don't know if it will or not. But
4 tracks,
Yeah.
112 on the front.
Yeah.
9-inch helix.
Yeah, running a 9 right now.
Lots of storage.
Yeah, I built the boat out myself. Actually, I've built several. Your next will probably be my 8th one. Rod locker, storage compartments, all made out of aluminum. So.
Lightweight. That's the way to go. Get rid of that wood. You ain't got to worry about rotting out.
Right now, it's running about 6 or 6.1 GPS.
Yeah.
It's the fastest it's been since I've had it since I bought it new in 2008. So I mean, it's moving.
Yeah. It is a fast boat. It is. So, if you could do something differently on the boat, what would it be and why?
The only thing that I would change, and I'm going to do it with his when we build his out, on my front deck, I made the storage compartment doors basically you stand and you open the doors toward the front of the boat. Then I've got 2 on one side, 1 on the other because I made it's open underneath there, but that's where I've got like extra fuses and tools and stuff, and I sealed it up so no water could get in there. But I made the doors too wide because when you lay rods on the front deck, you have to pick the rods up to open up that compartment to get into whatever I've got in there. So what I want to do with his is make that section, the doors narrower, so I can make that section wider where you can not have to worry about that metal rubbing against the line and the rods and everything like that. So about the only thing I do different.
That'd be good.
So, real quick.
Yeah.
His battery setup, very unique, and this is something that I definitely, that I think is a game changer for us, and it would be for anybody. So he's got his wired, so if his front motor goes, he's got an extra wire plugged into an extra set of batteries. He can unplug, plug back in. He's got a fresh set of 36 for the front. He's also got it where he can do it on the back to either one of the trolling motors. So worst case scenario, you're still going to have a front and a back motor to come in on.
To get you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 4-aught cable running from the back to the front with the big Anderson connectors like they use on electric forklift batteries.
Yep.
And then I got my batteries jumped with those same connectors in the back, so I've got 3 extra batteries back there along with the 2 for the 24-volt motors. And when I leave the house, it's plugged up for the front trolling motor, even though I've got 3 up front for the front trolling motor. So if I kill the front batteries, I can just unplug and they're an inch apart, unplug and plug, and I'm on a fresh set. But if I kill one of those 24-volt motors batteries back there, those quick disconnects, I can unplug and plug, and I can change that 36-volt pack into a 24 plug up.
And it's because of your boat, the size of it, you're able to do that. Because most boats, like for example myself, I mean, I'm limited for weight. So I mean, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Truthfully,
Yeah.
especially in the electric stuff. I mean, that's a whole nother tank of gas for somebody.
We could have ran back down to the first spot we went to in Hickory Dock last year if we wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to set his up the same way.
So maybe with saying from Chris's point, or maybe from yours as well, both of y'all, if you could have a different boat, would you go with a bigger boat, smaller boat, and what size and why?
For me, I mean, I think I'm getting the boat I'm looking for. I haven't purchased it yet, but I know where it's at, talking about it. So, 1756. If I could find a 1760, I think 17 feet in length is about perfect. Not too big, not too small. Width-wise, you want them as wide as you can get them.
Yep.
I think the wider they are, the more speed you're going to get out of them. The less movement in the water, walking from side to side, you're going to get.
Now that I have a 17-foot boat, I actually ordered a 1654, and they couldn't get one in, so they ended up giving me a 17 for the same price.
You lucky dog.
Yeah, so I got $2,100 for what I paid for the boat.
God,
Brand new.
that's a steal.
But now that I've built the boat out, 16 would be too short if you want to put a rod box in there.
I agree.
Because my rod box is right down the middle, like the new aluminum Ranger boats that they've done. I did that 5 years ago before they ever came out with it. And with it being a 17-foot boat, you know, you can put a 7-foot 6-inch rod in there, no problem. And I can put 12 rods on my deck.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, guys, I wish y'all the best of luck going down to hard labor.
You too.
Look forward to
You too.
competing with both you men, and I know I always enjoy fishing with you on small water angler teams and dread it in the same time.
We
So,
have a good time. Yeah, that's for sure.
all right, we appreciate it. Thanks for interviewing.
Thank you.
Proudly sponsored by G2 Gemini Jerseys, Rejuvenate, Power Pole, Nichols Lures, Dixie Athens Painting and Pressure Washing, Southern Draw Outdoors, East Penn, MyGeorgia811.com, Line Tanning Serum, The Dugout Bait and Tackle, Illusion Custom Crankbaits, TH Marine, Lanier Baits, Samkina Bait Company, Hammond's Fishing Center,